Hello and welcome. I am Ladi Akeredoluale. Tonight, Nigeria's corporate existence comes into focus once more in Abuja. Acting president raises concerns over increasing ethnic and religious intolerance in the country. INEC chairman condemns unending litigations by politicians, says trend is hampering development of democracy. 7 people reported killed following Boko Haram attack on Mildo in Adamawa State. And President Donald Trump approves sanctions aimed at punishing Russia for alleged meddling in the U.S. election and in Crimea.
On Business News tonight, the International Monetary Fund says Nigeria's 0.8% growth in 2017 won't dent unemployment and poverty in the country.
And in sports news, Neymar looks set to join PSG in a world record deal after Barcelona gives the Brazilian striker permission to leave training camp.
We begin tonight with the acting president's call for mutual respect amongst Nigerians, especially along religious and ethnic lines. Professor Yemi Osinbajo's call comes in the wake of growing hate speeches and ethnic intolerance, 2 main issues he says have been of concern to him. He wants Nigerians to shun inflammatory comments and other acts culpable of disrupting the peace and unity of the country. Professor Osinbajo was speaking in Abuja at a forum on national unity and stability organized by the Institute for Security Studies.
The theme of national security and stability is under the spotlight as the Institute for Security Studies convenes a seminar to brainstorm on how to overcome the security challenges bedeviling the nation. In a keynote address, the acting president of Nigeria advocates tolerance and mutual respect by all Nigerians.
The truth of the matter is that by our sheer size, our markets, our combined resources, this country is much, much greater, and its potential is even far greater than the potential of most countries anywhere in the world, not just in Africa. We must ensure that there is respect for each other. We must respect each other. We must respect the views of each other. In conversation, in interactions, we must show respect for each other. We must respect each other's religions. We must respect each other's views. The language of interaction, the language of exchange must be civil.
The chairman of the occasion and former military head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, appeals for caution on the part of both youth and the federal government.
No nation survives multiple civil wars. The life and blood of the people is worth a lot more than a stupendous profit they hope to make out of the business of hate and scaremongering.
Although the traditional ruler of Nembe Kingdom wants the government to examine the causes of the various agitations, the Director General of the Department of State Service gives a stern warning to armed agitators in particular.
This seminar must look beyond symptoms to the deep-rooted issues that for so long stood in the way of a secure, prosperous and united Nigeria that once held the hope of undisputed leadership in Black Africa.
The security and law enforcement agencies will not sit by idly while they continue on their activities that put at risk the lives and properties of law-abiding, innocent Nigerians.
The 2-day seminar, focusing unity in diversity, security and national development, examines, amongst other problems, the challenges of nation building in a pluralistic society, fiscal federalism, and Nigeria's stability.
To electoral matters now, one of the things slowing down the deepening of democratic processes in the country's political party system is unending litigations by politicians. And that's according to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. The INEC chief told a gathering of political party leaders in Abuja that the issue is preventing the attainment of internal democracy and slowing down democratic processes. He says a more common sense approach is needed to end the trend.
Leaders of political parties and officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission gather in Abuja to rub minds on how to make the administration of political parties better. Some of the issues dominating discussions here include how to ensure consistent compliance with rules on party politics and the attainment of internal democracy, as well as ensuring transparency in the disbursement of funds.
We would like to get commitment of party executives on the adoption of democratic principles and practices. We would like to enhance the capacity of parties to play the dual roles of aggregating the competing interests of disparate social groups and providing the vehicles for presenting competent and credible candidates for elective office.
Many of the constitutional provisions, electoral laws, and other critical issues are not respected by many political parties, especially the ones in government, the dominant ones. But even then, the minority, or we may call them, I don't like to call them opposition parties, let us say minority parties, are not doing any better, even in their own sphere. So it is a kind of part of the political culture that has developed, which we must all challenge and try to uproot if we are desirous of having a clear focus on democracy.
The chairman of INEC takes the plea for better internal party administration a step further by appealing to political parties to be cautious about pursuing unnecessary litigation so as not to undermine democracy.
There are so many court cases, even on matters settled by the Supreme Court. And the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is very clear. Once there is a pronouncement by the Supreme Court, all citizens and all actors are duty bound to obey that until there is another law superseding that passed by the National Assembly and assented to, or a reconsideration of the same judgment by the Supreme Court.
As the 2019 general elections draw near, INEC assures Nigerians that they will not relent in sensitizing political parties and citizens of their role in achieving a free and fair election, which in turn is expected to translate into better party administration in the country.
Police authorities in Kogi State are investigating the root cause of Tuesday's violence in the State House of Assembly. They have also dissociated themselves from the attack after reports went viral that policemen were involved in the violence. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Wilson Inalego, says police officers were deployed to the House of Assembly based on intelligence reports of threats to law and order. The investigation, according to him, is on the orders of the State Governor, Mr. Yahaya Bello, who has described the violence as unfortunate and disappointing.
Tuesday's violence in the Kogi State House of Assembly seems fresh in the minds of people, and the best thing to do now is to fortify the Assembly complex with heavy security. There are still traces of the damage done on the complex, but the injury inflicted on one of the lawmakers, Friday Sani, is yet to heal.
We're only in the chambers to do our normal, legitimate duties when the attack started. I took the decision to resume yesterday, and I did, and everything went peaceful until the hoodlums started attacking when it was getting to the time to invite the Accountant General, who was already in the premises of the House of Assembly.
Some persons are pointing accusing fingers at the State Governor, Mr. Yahaya Bello, but he is not willing to trade words. Rather, he's ordered an investigation into the crisis.
It was barbaric, and we condemn it in totality. In Kogi State here, we have zero tolerance to violence.
The State Commissioner for Police, Wilson Inalego, explains the police has made remarkable arrests and that investigation is still ongoing.
Good deployment at all the perimeters of the complex. And we're now satisfied that the place was serene.
For now, an uneasy calm pervades the Kogi State House of Assembly premises, and lawmakers have postponed sitting indefinitely. Without doubt, security agencies, the lawmakers, and the Kogi State government have their work cut out to find a political solution to the crisis rocking the state.
From Kogi to Adamawa State, where calm is gradually returning to Mildo community in Madagali local government area, where after 7 people were killed in an overnight raid by Boko Haram terrorists. Eyewitness accounts have it that the terrorists sneaked into the town on Tuesday night through Chakawa village, killing residents and burning their houses. Madagali is part of the territory annexed by Boko Haram in 2014 before its subsequent liberation by Nigerian soldiers in 2015. The State Commissioner for Information says the situation is now under control.
The situation in Mildu in Madagali local government, yes. At around 2 a.m. last night, we received information that some people suspected to be Boko Haram terrorists had attacked Mildu village in Madagali local government area, and that in the process they were able to ransack the village, send the people away, and then there were a number of casualties and they burnt a few property. By this morning, the hazy cloud has almost cleared, and we were able to confirm from both military sources, from police sources and from community sources that actually the attack took place, and that about 6 people lost their lives on the side of the community, and 1 of the suspected terrorists had also been killed. But that as I'm talking to you now, the Nigerian military, the army, the police, and the vigilantes and hunters have taken over the town, but the people have dispersed to the surrounding villages and communities. We have sent the ATSEMA to mobilize and go and see if there's a disaster situation there.
From the northeast to the south-south, where there are fears that Calabar, the Cross River State capital, may soon be cut off from other parts of the state if nothing is done to repair a collapsed portion of the Calabar-Odukpani federal highway. The state government and motorists are asking the federal government to urgently fix the damage on the road, which is the only exit route out of Calabar, in order to avoid accidents and save the local economy of the residents.
The maxim, a stitch in time saves 9, applies to the repair of the Calabar-Odukpani Federal Highway, where motorists are worried that a major disaster may occur if the failed portion of the road isn't fixed.
I think this gully site is a threatening site now to motorists and residents in this area. You can see that the erosion is deeply eating into the real road. And this road, the Calabar-Odukpani Highway, is the only gateway into the city of Calabar. And so we need the attention of the state and federal government. They should intervene on this road. If not, within a few months from now or a few days, this road is going to cut into 2.
It is terrible. And I think something should be done urgently. When I say urgently, I mean now.
The heavy traffic on the highway isn't helped by the fact that it's the only entry and exit point in and out of Calabar, meaning rehabilitation is key for the safety of motorists.
Just to me, I would like government to work it very fast, because very soon now you see that the motor cannot be passing very well. So the government should do very fast into it.
The situation has not gone unnoticed by the Cross River State government. And as a federal highway, the Cross River State Commissioner for Works has this to say.
This is a major channel drain that has failed. And it's because of, 1, the age of the road, 2, the damage done by the subsoil structure, and of course, the road design. The third factor.
The rainy season being here increases the risk of further damage to the failed portions of the highway. It is expected that the relevant agencies act in a prompt manner to avoid accidents that can be prevented.
In part 2, after the break, former President Olusegun Obasanjo says lack of policy continuity in government is hindering national development. Please stay on with us.